Hey, how you doing, guys? It's Bell here. I do coding stuff on YouTube. Check the description for all my information. I do all LeetCode problems. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Give me a big thumbs up to support it. And that's super late here, but I'm gonna do another problem for you real quick. And this is called partition equals subset sum. Given a non-empty array containing only positive integers, find if the array can be partitioned into two subsets such that the sum of elements in both subsets is equal. Note, each of the array element will not exceed 100. The array size will not exceed 200. Here we can see two examples. The first one, the array can be partitioned as 155 and 11, so we just return true. Here the array cannot be partitioned into equal sum subsets, so we just return false. Like 1 plus 2 equals to 3, and 6 plus 5 equals to 11, odd. The sum of that element is odd, so we just return false, right? We can solve this problem using dynamic programming. As you know, guys, there are like a few approaches how to do that in dynamic programming. We can use memoization. We can use memoization like recursively. We can use we can solve the problems in dynamic programming iteratively, like using tabulation method, bottom-up approach, right? But this problem we can use with dynamic programming using 0-1 knapsack problem, right? It's kind of like 0-1 knapsack approach. When we talk about that type of problem, we come up with the solution which has 2D array, but I'll show you how to do that just with 1D array, and we will kind of like optimize that solution. So let's start. First you need to create a variable sum. Then you need to loop through these array of nums, int n nums, and you need to just add up these values. So you say plus equals to n, and then you check if sum and bitwise operator 1 equals to 1, you return false. What does it mean? As you know, guys, there are some bitwise operators, and it's called AND operator. Suppose we got like 0 and 0 equals to 0, then 0 and 1 equals to 1 equals to 0, and 0 just 1 and 1 equals to 1. That's it. So suppose we got like 3, which is an odd number, right? An odd number. So that will be kind of like, this is in decimal representation, and this is in binary representation. And we wanna make sure that that's not odd, right? An odd number. So we can do stuff like this, and 1, right? So this. 1 equals to 0, 0, 1. So that means that the result will be 1 and 1 equals to 1. So we just have 1 here. Then 1 and 0 equals to 0. 0 and 0 equals to 0. So we just got 1 and we just return false because that's odd. That's an odd number. Yeah. Suppose we got like 4, right? We got like 4, which equals to 1, 0, 0. And we wanna make sure as well that it's not an odd number. We say 1, 0, 0 and 0, 0, 1. The result will be 0 and 1 will be 0, 0 and 0 will be 0, and 1 and 0 will be 0. So we just go on and go on doing that problem. That's it. You just need to know about that as well. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is that we need to say sum divide by 2, and we create an array of type boolean. New boolean. The size of that array will be sum plus 1. And when we talk about dynamic programming, we think about the very last step, right? And when we use tabulation method, we kind of like do our calculations from the bottom to the top. So the first number, the first value into this array will be set up to true, and all next elements are set up to false by default. Then we are moving through this array of nums, and we create another for loop int I equals to sum. I is greater than 0 and I plus plus, I minus minus, I mean, because we are moving backwards. And here we need to check if I is greater than or equals to n. We can do our calculations. So we say array at I equals to array at the current position, or just array at I minus n. And that means that we're trying to pick up true at this element or just at this element, or in the case when these elements like both set up to false, we pick up the false, right? That's it. Finally, as I explained right off the bat, we think about the very last step. So we just return array at sum. That's it. one more time, we create sum equals to 0, then for loop we add up all values into that array of nums, then we check whether that sum is odd or not. If it's odd, we just automatically return false. We say sum divided by 2, and we create an array of type boolean. The length of that array will be sum plus 1, and the first element is set up to true, and all elements are set up to false by default. And we're looping through these numbers through that array of nums, and I equals to sum. I is greater than 0 and I minus minus because we are moving backwards, and if I is greater than or equals to n, we calculate the result. We say array at I, we pick up, just as I explained, we try to pick up true, or in the case when both elements are set up to false, we pick up false. Finally, we just return sum. Yeah, that's it. Let's run this code. I'm sure that works, but yeah, accepted. There we go. First try, success. Great. I think I explained it pretty good. Yeah, what you think? Leave your comments below, I want to know. I think that's pretty obvious what we are doing here, even without explanation, right? But I decided to make a video for you about that. Just subscribe to the channel, give me a big thumbs up to support it, follow me on social medias, Instagram, add me on Snapchat, and I'll see you next time. Thank you, bye.